A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Here we have a word, H, A, happy, happy. What happens to the letter E, to the letter Y, is because it's at the end of the word, it sounds like E, hap-E. Then, when I write the word happiness, so I don't use the Y, I use the letter I. But even here, it still sounds like an E. במקום Y יש I. נשמע כמו E. happiness. למה זה נשמע כמו E ולא I? זה הסבר שנגיע אליו בהמשך. בעזרת השם. Later, we will explain when a certain vowel is used in one way, it might have one sound, and when it's used in another way, it might have another sound. החוק שבתנועות is that no English words, שום מילה באנגלית אינו כתובה בלי תנועות. For instance, in Hebrew, you could write tain. But in order to say the word, you need otiot tenuah. Tseri. So this is now tain. In English, you don't write t, n, ten. No, because there is no tenuot that are written like nikudot. So you have to put in the tenuots. You have to put in the vowels. Tain. This is the word tain. Sometimes you have לפעמים yesh tenua echad, לפעמים yesh shtei tenuot. But כל מילה yesh tenuot. עכשיו, if I write this word, it's written זה כתוב עם שתי תנועות. E here, E here. Both of these E's are used, one before R and one which separates it from the second syllable, havara hasofit. So they are used as short E's, not teen, dear, but tender. Now the reason it's tender is because you have these two consonants, itzurim, T-N, and here itzurim, D-R, and you connect them with the vowel. So we have now the system of syllabification, tender, and we do this in order to read it as one sound, T, ten, de, tender. This is the reason it's called tenuot. There are other rules about special qualities of the vowels that we use. For instance, every time we use the letter Q, we have to include after the letter Q a U. Okay? Why this is so is probably Mistama Yarash Anglit Hatzlil Q from one of the Romantic languages which preceded it. Maybe Mitzarfatit. It was a French sound. Q. So, in order to get close to using this sound in English, we put the U with the Q. We have another rule about the I and about the E. And that is that I always precedes E, pi, except after C. I before E, except after C. This is rule B3 in our lesson. I before E, except after C. Rule number 2, we'll get back to this in a moment. Rule number 2 is sometimes we have CI or TI or SI. So these are like a shin in Hebrew, okay? C-I-E-N-T, shint. T-I-E-N-T, shint. C-I-O-N, shun. And as we said before, I before E except after C. We have a word such as sealing. C-E-I-L-I-N-G, which means God. You see here the E is before the I. In every other word except where the I-E follows C, you will have the I first and then the E. Now let's look again at this special rule about the E-I as concerns the letter C. In English, the word I has the meaning of iron. I also means ani. So it's easy to remember. I gets a special attention. The word I is written with 2 E's. So in the I, you have the 2 E's. This is like your eyes and your nose. Now, the letter E and the letter I are special. When this letter C is followed by a letter I, then it is pronounced like an S. When the letter C is followed by the letter T, so the C is like a K. This is rule number 2 on our lesson, the vowel, to the consonant C. Okay? So, we have the 5 vowels. A, E, I, O, U. C-A-T, cat. C-E, I before E after C. C is like an S. Cell. C before I. C is like an S. City. C lifnei O. The C before the O. C is like a K. Cat. C lifnei U. The C before the U. The C is like a K. So again, we have C before I and C before E. So C, I is like psi. C, E is like C. C, A is like cat or K. C, O is like ko or ka. C, U is like Q, ku or ka. Now, I just introduced another point that sometimes the vowels sound differently. For instance, you have I, and there's the long sound and the short sound. So you have the long sound I. You have the short sound I. You have the long sound E. You have the short sound E. You have A, which has three sounds. You have A, and then you have the middle sound, and then you have the short sound, A. And this letter, A, will be when it comes together with W or R. And this will be explained in the next lesson. Where you have O, you have O and O. And you have U and A. So how do you know if the letter A sounds like A, or A? This lesson we will get to. It's lesson number 2C, and it's called the correct pronunciation of the vowels. For now, we'll just conclude today's lesson, and we'll talk about a few more sounds that have to do with the different letters. CH, okay? So, when we have CH at the beginning of a word, it sounds like chat. When you have CH at the end of a word, CH, it sounds like match, chat, match. Now, when it comes in the middle of the word, for instance, after MA, like we had here, but it is a C, CH, now you have INE, and look carefully here, because the CH is really a C sound, and where you have the C sound before the I, it translates to S. So this word is going to be like this. Machine. Machine. Because the C with the I is an S sound. Now you have this word, and here you have an A together with the C sound. So the C sound is like a K. So here it will be mechanic. Mechanic. You don't hear a ch because the K sound of the C is going to swallow the H sound. This then concludes our lesson about the letters and the vowels. So let's just sign off singing together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now you know the ABCs. Won't you spell your name with me? My name is Moshe. M-O-S-H-E. Our second song for learning the vowels: A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U.